Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. All right, today we're going to be working on the unlock system a little bit. I think I do want to experiment with moving away from the tree structure for the unlocks and then doing more of a tiered structure for it. So I'm going to work on that today, see how that feels. And we can get into the reasons why I want to do that. But first, I want to remind everyone that Alcamortis is available for wishlisting, so if you're interested, head on over to the Steam page. The demo will be coming out in the near future, so you'll be notified when the demo goes live if you've wishlisted the game. You can also subscribe on the Patreon to support the development of the game. If you subscribe at the sponsored tier here for at least 1 month, I'm going to send you an Alcamortis Steam key when the game launches, and your name will be listed in the in-game Alcamortis credits. So if you want to support the development, you want your name in the game, in the credits, and you want to get a copy of the game, you get all of those things for becoming a sponsor. So yeah, I'll definitely consider that if you're interested. And then I also have my Udemy courses, which will teach you how to build complete games in the Godot engine. That's a great way to support my work as well. And I appreciate all of you who have purchased it, who have taken the course. My little boom arm is being a little bit wonky today. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Okay, well, that's fine. Whatever. Anyway, let's say hello to everybody now. Hello, Emerson. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you, Stup Bill, for the IDR 10,000. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. With the message yummers, as always. Hello, V. Almost just read your full name. Your V will be forever be V, I guess. Hello, Opacheco. Welcome. Christian, welcome. Good to see you again. Budget Jim, hello. Rin, welcome. Good to see you again. Almost a decade ago. Interesting. I don't know what any of that means, but hello, Clickertail, welcome. Lord Psycho, hello. Good to see you. Okay, let's take a look at the unlock tree. So I've got this whole mess of stuff. How many of these things do I have? Does it tell me how many things? Oh, 23. So I have 23 unlocks. So yeah, basically what I want to do is I want to break this up into tiers instead. So the idea is that you have like your tier 1 unlocks and you need to invest a certain amount of points in that tier before you get the tier 2 unlocks available. So it's a little bit more linear than the tree. So there's a couple of reasons why I'm interested in doing this approach. One, I'm worried that people are going to skip entire branches of the tree to avoid content that they don't want. So the whole point of the unlock system is that it adds content to the game, right? But I don't want people to just like, oh, I'm just gonna spend enough points to get all the characters and then I'm not gonna do anything else, right? So if I do a tiered system and I require like a minimum investment in like a tier to get to the next spot, that will resolve some of that problem. But then it also becomes more linear. Like I could control the pacing of like unlocking characters and whatnot a lot better. Instead of trying to balance it by like balancing this tree and like placing things in the right spot. The other problem too is that this tree becomes very hard to extend. So I am going to add a lot more unlocks to the for the final game. And just like trying to keep track of this tree and like where everything is in the tree and like how many jumps away, what's the minimum required investment for this node in this tree is like, that's very difficult to do. And I don't think the tree is like fully serving its purpose. Like a tree like this is ideally supposed to give you like interesting decisions. Like, oh, if you're here, right? Do I choose this one or do I choose that one? But because it's just content unlocks, there's not really a huge amount of depth to the decision making here. The only choice you would really like have is like if you've got one of two characters to unlock, you'd be like, oh, which one do I want to unlock first? But that never happens in the tree because I don't want players to be able to unlock like two characters back to back, right? So I'm thinking the threshold system is going to be just easier from a developer standpoint, from my standpoint. It's still going to give players the choice about what they unlock next, but it's going to require minimum investment, which is going to allow me to pace it better. So I think it might turn out better, but like that's why we're going to experiment. Just responded to that's okay. No worries. Here comes the cat. Can I help you? Here we go. Ah. Hello. Say hi to everybody. Do you want to help me rework the unlock tree? You don't look amused. What are you doing? Okay. I can't lock him out because I need to hear if the FedEx guy is going to come and knock on my door. Anyway, so how do we want to approach this tiered system? So we got the unlock tree. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit... I don't even know where to start with this, honestly. I'm going to have to rip out huge chunks of this. So one thing I could do is I could put these in the tree order in like the order that I want them to be unlocked. Actually, you know what I might need to do? Unlock resource ID, artifact. Like, I'm almost wondering if I should have these automatically placed. One second. Okay. Alrighty, so yeah, so I wonder, so we've got the artifact unlock resource ID here. Like, I'm almost wondering if I should just configure this artifact flame. Should I just configure this in a tier? So I've got all these unlocks here. If I add a tier to like the base unlock resource, then I could align all of these things in accordance with their tiers programmatically. And then it would just become purely data driven. Do I want to do that? I'm going to want some kind of progression as well to show like how far along you are on the tier. So these vines may not go away. I may have like a little node here for like tier 1 and then another node here for tier 2 and like have the vine grow out that way maybe. So I don't know if these vines are going to go away entirely. Maybe we'll just focus on the layout first. So yeah, maybe that's a good idea. So let's go to the base, unlock, artifact unlock, unlock definition resource. We don't have any export variables there. So let's do I want to just use an integer? Export public int. Yeah, we'll just call it tier. And we'll do property hint range. I will do 0 to 4 for now. Okay. He is super cute, yeah. He's a good boy. I mean, like, he literally just ran out of the room, went into the living room, and then just started screaming at the top of his lungs. So I had to call him and invite him over to sit with me, and now here he is. And hopefully that satisfies his demands. And then when he leaves again, he'll be fine. So I've got the tier. So now what I want to do is card pack deep sea. So this is going to be the annoying part, is I got to go here and change the tier. So actually that's fine. Card pack torture, artifact sapling. I want to take roughly 5 of each because I've got 23 unlocks. So I want to take roughly 5 in each tier for now. Okay, so artifact fleam. Really? Why did this not update? Artifact unlock definition resource. Yeah, okay. Do I need to restart Godot? Why is this not... There's no tier on this one. What happens if I delete this and then restore it? There we go. Now we've got the tier. Okay, so tier 1. Character priestess I'm keeping. Can I select multiple? Oh, here we go. And then what is this one? Artifact cloak, vampire fangs. There's a lot of art. Let's do reagent 2. I'm gonna have to rethink some of these things. Reagent 2. Let's just do these 3, or these 5. I don't know why I said 3. So artifact fleam, artifact noble pedigree. Again, it's not there. Why did Godot not update this? Okay, I might have to restart. Take a screenshot of what I've highlighted. Got to restart Godot because it didn't update. Okay. Artifact Noble Pedigree Tier 1. Card Pack Reagent 1 is Tier 1 as well. Manticore Stinger. Tier 1. Vampire Fangs. Tier 1. Okay. Now back to the unlock tree. Cloak. Character Potion Man. Serpent. Coals. Did I do Reagent 2? I didn't. Okay, so these 5 should be fine next. So Card Pack Reagent 2. This would be Tier 2. Artifact Cloak. Tier 2. Artifact Coals. Character Potion Man. Card Pack Serpent. Okay. So now these 5. I might just put maybe all of these. No, we'll do this. We'll do these 5. So character skeleton. So this is nice because I'm ending up with like 1 character unlock per tier, which I think is pretty good pacing. Card pack cult. Artifact thorns. Unlock artifact hammer. Unlock character paladin. Oh wait, I've got 2 characters in this one. Well, that's fine. I'm gonna add more unlocks so I can space those out later, but... So paladin, 3. And then for these last ones, we've got ring, which... Oh, these should be 4. Oops. Ring should be 4, and then lich. Okay, so let's take a look. So I should have 23 of these things. Did I miss some? That's only 20. Oh, because the ones at tier 0 aren't changed, right? But wait a minute. I thought there was... Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Does it make sense? Why do I have 20 changes? Oh, it'd be 18, right? Because these two go away. Okay, that makes sense. So I think I got everything. And now the challenge is to create these in a sensible way. So I think I'll just edit the tool script for this. I mean, there's going to need to be a lot of changes here, but that's all right. What did your cat think about the new unlock system? Strangely enough, he's not talking to me. I must have angered him. Can I help you? So, do I want to just worry about placing these? Yeah, maybe I'll get placement working. So we've got... Unlock tree item. Unlock tree item template. So where is my unlock tree item template? Oh, here. Okay, so I want to copy this and put this under unlock tree items root. I think I'm just gonna have to basically redo this entire thing. So let's keep that method in place. Let's just add another export tool button. Place tiers. Place tiers. Must be an expression bodied property. I mean, it is, so it's probably fine. On place tiers, we're going to do if tools and if... Okay. We're going to copy this one. Var item in unlock tree items. We're just going to recreate the whole thing. So I'm going to iterate over all these things. I'm going to say unlock tree items dot remove child. Unlock tree items root dot remove child. Item dot queue free. So we don't need the unlock graph anymore. So I do need to sort all of the unlock resources data unlock. So is it worth, are these tool scripts? Please tell me these are tool scripts. It's not a tool script. Okay. Do I want to just mark these all as tool scripts? Is that going to break anything? So tool, let's see, find all implementations. Card pack, unlock definition resource. Character unlock definition resource. I don't know, maybe I don't need to do all of these as tool scripts, but yeah, I might have to do that. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to do where's my registries? Card registry. Let's see. GameUtils.for resources in directory. Is this going to work? Let's just copy this. Base unlock path. Okay, base unlock path. This is res resources, data unlock. So what we'll do is we iterate over each one here. This would be unlock definition resource. Okay, so now we've got the resource here. So all resources, let's just do new list, unlock definition resource. All resources dot add resource. So we're loading up all the resources. Now I want to group them by tier and sort them by maybe ID or something. And I may want to specify a sort order if I'm doing this programmatically, but grouped and sorted is equal to all resources dot group by x dot tier dot order by x board effect. I'm just looking at how I'm ordering this. Oh, string compare ordinal ignore case. Okay. X. This is an I grouping. I always forget how to order a grouping. Do I need to order it first? Order by, let's do order by x.id, string comparer dot ordinal ignore case dot group by x.tier, order by. Okay. So to list. So what does this end up being? This is a list of I groupings. So then I can do the for each var group in grouped and sorted, for each var item in group, right? Okay, that'll work. I have to rewrite my inheritance-based code to composition from scratch. I hate it. Well, do you have to do that or do you want to do that? Welcome, by the way. All right, give me just 3 minutes. I need to take a quick break. So BRB real quick. Sorry about this. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm already at the 3rd generation. I feel like it's a bad way to approach my intentions. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, if you have a genuine need to do it, then yeah. Like that's why I started using composition a lot more. Is like when I first started with Godot, you know, I used inheritance and like scene inheritance very heavily, and pretty quickly found out that that was not a very good way of building games in Godot. I mean, I would even make the argument that scene inheritance probably shouldn't even be a thing in Godot because it's very brittle, it's very counterintuitive. You can very easily paint yourself into a corner using that. Like you actually end up making your code and your structures more rigid than more flexible, which is kind of like the opposite of what should be happening as you add things to your code base, right? Like as your code base grows, why it should be growing is because there's more flexibility. And if you're using inheritance a lot, I find that the opposite is true. Like it actually narrows and solidifies and rigidifies your code. It gives you fewer options the deeper you have your inheritance. So yeah, I mean, I think personally, I do think that there's some cases in this game where I'm using scene inheritance, but it's just like one level of scene inheritance and it's for like random, like one-off UI things. But yeah, definitely not a good idea to rely on that, I don't think. Hello, Arion, welcome back. I'll reiterate the state machine too. I watched one of your videos. You said something that caught my attention. The states for each enemy are not that different, but they are different enough. Yes, that's what makes state machines really annoying, right? Is like, they feel like the kind of thing that should be genericizable, but then you realize, oh wait, like this enemy actually has a slightly different speed, and also like the pathfinding, I want the pathfinding to be a little bit different, and also the attack timings are different, and also it has more animations than this other enemy, right? And so it's like, yeah, the code that drives the motion might be the same, right? And the code that determines like what the acceleration formula is, right? Or the acceleration, you know, algorithm is too strong of a word, but you know what I mean? Like what are the exact mechanics of the acceleration? Like that might be the same as other enemies, and maybe it, you know, has the same rough node structure of the other enemies, but they're just different enough where your only two options are like try to blow up your state machine implementation to support all of these different cases, or be okay with a certain level of copy pasting and just write the state machine bespoke for each entity. So I think like in Gunforged, I had that problem, right? Where like a lot of the enemies were like 85% the same. And then like the last 15% was stuff that I just could not support through a generic state machine implementation. And so what I did is again, taking the composition approach, is I tried to pull out all the common behaviors into their own components. And then when I implement the state machine, I like drive those common areas of behavior through the components, right? So I even went so far as to have like a velocity component, which contained all of the, you know, formulas for applying acceleration. And then I could tweak like the max speed and the acceleration and the deceleration. But then I would just reference that in my state machine and say like, okay, I want you to accelerate in this direction, right? And then, so that chunk of code at least was handled. I didn't have to copy and paste that specific chunk of code. So yeah, it's state machines, like they're very tempting. They feel like the kind of thing that you should be able to make generic, but what I found is that there's just so many slight differences in terms of how each enemy is supposed to behave that it's like, it's basically not feasible to build an all-in-one solution for it, right? Hello, Fork. I use inheritance for level scenes. I mean, yeah, you could do that too. That's a good idea. Hold the level enum and a go back signal. Yeah, that can work for sure. Like if all of your levels are going to have like a tile map, then that makes sense for sure. Inheritance doesn't work is that man also have nipples but doesn't have any function. I kind of solved this problem. I wish I could send a screenshot to you guys. You could share it in the Discord if you're in the Discord. That would be fun. That would be welcome. All right, so for each item in group, we want to create a new unlock tree template. Here we go. Basically copy this. Unlock resource ID is equal to item.id. Okay, so now we need to figure out how to space these around though. Position is equal to vector 2.0. That doesn't seem right to me. So what we're going to want to do is we want to look at maybe at this unlock tree items root width. I'm trying to think like how I want to present this. State machine is by definition non-generic. I see it is an abstract machine that can be exactly one of finite number of states at any given time. Still that from Wikipedia right now. Yeah, I mean, I think the things that can be made generic, again, are the common pieces of functionality. Like if you've got a certain like block of code that always runs, you could pull that out into a function or a component or whatever. And then the state machine implementation itself can be generic, right? So you could have like a generic state machine class that makes it easy to configure a state machine. But the actual individual state behaviors, they're not very amenable to genericization. What am I doing? So if I want to, I'm thinking like maybe I do a max of 3 items across, but then I offset it here. So I might do something like this. The problem is, I mean, if I've got 5 per group, maybe I just do something like this. Just like a diamond pattern or 5 die, whatever it's called. But then on the last group, I'm only gonna have 3. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just do a straight iteration over the list. So I'll place one here, I'll place one there, I'll place one there. I'll just place as many of these in this pattern as possible. And so if I end up only having 4, it will just look like that. And if I end up only having 3, it will look like that. If I have 2, it'll look like that. If I have 1, it will look like that. So yeah, we'll place them in this kind of a pattern, I think. Now, is that going to be... That might be not... Like, I kind of do want to do 3 across. Maybe I do 3 across... Let's see. 3 across, and then since I'm only going to have like 5, maybe I just do something like that. Actually, I could probably make this even simpler. I guess what I don't want to happen is I don't want like it to be perfectly aligned, although maybe that doesn't make a difference. Maybe that's fine. So maybe I'll just say max 3 across and then center the grouping, right? So if I've only got 2 on the second row, I would shift it over to be centered in that range. Okay. Let's just see if that works. X spacing equals 24. Okay. var I equals 0, I is less than group dot move all this stuff up in here. Okay, var item is equal to items I. So position, I'm gonna have to figure out the Y positioning, but well, we want to say max per row, right? So we do private const int max per row, something like that. So mod is equal to I mod max per row. So the position is new vector 2. Let's do var y offset y row offset is equal to I divided by max per row. I think that's right. And then let's do y spacing. Actually, this x spacing, what is the size of this? These are 32 by 32. I mean, maybe I just bring in that calculation. No, maybe it would just be easier to bake that into this number. Anyway, so the position would be x spacing times mod, and then the y would be, we could do y, maybe we'll just call this spacing. We'll just make it the same all around. And then this would be y row offset times spacing. So this is obviously not going to do the positioning that I wanted it to do, but let's just see. I want to see like how badly I broke this and see if this works too. So let's do that. I'm going to build. So what I should see is I should see everything just get absolutely obliterated, hopefully. I mean, ideally what I would see is I would see a nice semi-grid. Place tiers, boom. Uh-oh. I wonder why that broke so hard. Interesting. I have to keep track of the previous row offset though, or I have to start. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. My Godot completely locked up though. Okay, that's not good. Did it create like a 5,000 gigabyte file or something? No, it looks fine. I wonder why did that lock up? Oh, you know what? I think maybe, I think I know what it is. I think those lines are updating if I'm not mistaken. Unlock tree line. Set physics process engine is editor hint. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of this. These lines are gonna go away, or at least Let me just comment this. Well, let's just comment this out. And we're going to turn this off as well. I think all the lines are trying to update their positions, which may have been the problem. So let's just build the glue code, right? Is the C# documentation as good as GD scripts? Well, I would say the thing with C# is like all the documentation is still applicable. So I could go to any GD script documentation and like I know how to write it in C#. So if I go to like, for example, freaking Google. They do not want me to do any searches in private windows anymore, I guess. So if I go to like the texture 2D docs, like all this stuff is going to be, you know, expressed in like GD script terms, but it's very easily transferable to C#. Like get width will exist on a C# texture 2D object. It'll just be in Pascal case, right? So the way to approach writing C# scripts is largely the same as the way to approach Godot. I don't know if there's like that much different about like the signal definitions are different, obviously, in C#. But everything else is basically the same approach. Like there's not much of a difference except it's just C#ified. So I wouldn't say, I don't know if they're like directly comparable. Like the documentation is complete, I would say. Even if they don't have specific C# examples, it's usually pretty easy just to like intuit how to transform that. What's the rework? We're doing a tiered system for unlocks. So we're moving away from the tree. Hello, Ninja Link. Welcome. Good to see you as always. C# got tons of documentation, decades worth. Yeah. But as it relates to Godot specifically, I think it's pretty straightforward. Hey, there we go. So these things are being placed in the way that I expected them to be, which is nice. I do need to keep track of the... It didn't save the name properly. I wonder why it didn't do that. Dupe.name unlock item.id. Oh, because I didn't call... Is it because I didn't call initialize? I might have to do item.initialize. Yeah. Also, we're going to do var. Let's do row count is equal to 0. I'm just going to do something easy. So this would be inner row count plus... Actually, maybe there's an easier way to do this. This would be row count. Row count plus row offset times spacing. Row count plus equals items.count divided by max per row. This would have to be +1, right? Well, let's see if that works. So we build about Godot specific documentation. Yeah, at least for getting started docs, I think most of the examples have both GDScript and C# versions, which is nice for noobs like me. Yes, yeah. I think all like the tutorial documentation had C# examples. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, because it's resetting after every group. Oops. It would help if I did the logic correctly. But yeah, in terms of like the individual like class doc though, like I said, it's pretty easy to translate that over to C# once you've got the hang of it. Place tiers. Okay. That looks more reasonable. What I may do actually is I may just bump this up like so. Build. We got to get rid of all these lines too. That might be too much. So we may need an extra padding, but let's get rid of all these lines because these are annoying. Okay. So the challenge now is we need to center the items in each row. We need to center the items in each row. I guess what I could do is, I mean, I could process the rows row by row. Or I could do something like remaining. So like empty, I'll just call it like empty slots, whatever, it doesn't matter. Empty slots would be items.count. Would it be mod max per row? Right, because the mod is the remainder. So if I have 5 items and I've got 3 max per row, my remainder would be 1. Right? So that's the number of empty slots. So then in here, items.count, I would need to detect if I'm in the last row. Let's call this one column offset. Row offset. Is last row would be what? I plus I plus max per row is less than items.count minus 1. Is that right? So if I've got 3 items, let's say I've just got 3 items. Oh, wait. Is last row. Oh, I need to snap it to the first index. Row offset. It would be greater than. Row offset plus max per row is greater than or equal to items count, right? So if I have 3 items, no, that's not right either, is it? If I just have 3 items, the row offset, I mean, it will always be 0. I add 3 to it. if it's greater than or equal to items.count. But that's not going to help me. I don't need to just know what the last row is. I need to know, well, yeah, I know what the empty slots are. Okay, so wait, if I have 5 items then, my row offset is going to be 1. 1 plus, no, that's not right. My row offset is 1 plus max per row is greater than items.count. So my items.count is 5. Oh, this would have to be row offset times max per row. Yeah. So if I have 5 items and my row offset is 1, I would say, okay, well, is last row, that'd be 3 plus 3, that is greater than items.count. So I'm on the last row if that's true. And then my empty slots will give me what the offset ought to be. So now I've got to center these things. So here, basically, let's see, 56. I think that's right. 24 plus 32, 56. So I need to shift this over by half of 56. So it'd be half of the spacing times the empty slot count. Is that right? It would be empty slots times spacing divided by 2. Oh, I have no idea if that's going to work. Let's see. If I get it right the first time, I will be a certified genius, I suppose. Oh, it shifted the whole thing over. Oh, because I need to make it is last row, right? Is last row question mark that vector 2.0. That was the whole point of doing the is last row check. It looks like, though, this offset is not going to be correct, so I probably did that wrong. But let's try it. Yeah, it's shifting it over too much. Do I need to do it by... Oh, right. Wait, no, that's not right. 56, it's placing it... Oh, does it think, is it saying, oh, maybe empty slots? Maybe I did this part wrong. No, I don't think so. How does it look at the end here? Oh, there's only 3 items in the end. Okay. I want to see what it looks like with just 4 items. Unlock character skeleton. Let's just put this back. Where is that? Unlock character skeleton. Let's just move this out of there. Place tiers. Yeah, that's not correct at all, is it? Okay. Hello, Ricky Dimmy Doo. Welcome. Good to see you. Hello, Flavipix. Welcome back. Wooius, good to see you again. Let me think about this. Does this need, wait, this might need to be different. This might need to be max per row divided by empty slots. Is that right? So if I say there's one empty slot, I think there does need to be an additional offset here. But let's say there's two empty slots. So I'm saying, no, that's not right either, is it? Well, foiled by basic algebra yet again. No, that is most certainly not correct. Empty slots times spacing. So yeah, see, this is the thing, like that's just gonna push it off to the end, I think. Why does it take so long to build? Here we go, place tiers. Yes, that just pushes it off to the end. Although, that actually doesn't seem correct. Oh, right. This needs to be max per row minus this. I think that calculation was just wrong. So that shifts it over. So now I just need to shift it over by, I think basically just 32. Why is this one all the way over here? What are you doing over there, bro? Oh, that's not right either. So wait, this is correct, right? So this is wrong. This is filled slots. Right. Max per row minus filled slots. I suggested the gluttony ability, but wonder if a size increase mechanic was even possible. No, it's not. It is not. But something like that, like I think it would be interesting to have something that consumes items somehow. Oops, I built the wrong thing. Wait, what is going on here? Am I just doing this completely wrong? Is last row, max per row minus filled slots. Okay, I guess I'm just like not thinking about this correctly. I think I'm confusing myself. So if I've got 5 items in 3 rows. Yeah, the remainder is 2. So yeah, this is how many slots end up getting filled. So that's the thing that I'm not. This should be called last row filled slots. The thing that's confusing to me is max per row is 3. Oh, right. Last row filled slots. Right, that's why it's shifting it all over. Yeah. Tricky, tricky. What are we munching on today? Munching on placing items in a grid very nicely. Wait, why is this still... What is going on? Why is this being shifted over? Okay, this is just not working. So this approach is not working because this is going to be... Right, this is going to be 0. Wait, how do I actually get the last row filled slots then? Is it just as simple as doing empty slots as... Is it just as simple as doing this? Me personally made some Godot. I don't know what that is. Sounds delicious though. Okay, so this row got back into shape. Good. What happens now? So wait, this character skeleton. If I put this one in tier 4 and I rebuild, is it going to be correct? No. So right, so now I have the count of empty slots. So do I just take... Oops. So I've got this gap here, which can be calculated with empty slots times spacing. $56 divided by 2 is 28. So if I shift this over 28, that might be correct now. So in this case, I've got 2 empty slots. So I need to shift that over 56. Right, so it's just divided by 2 then. We take this, empty slots dot spacing divided by 2. I guess those parentheses are not necessary. Okay, let's try that. Fancy way of saying chicken and rice. Okay, all right, so are we good now? Did I finally get it after all this struggling? 4 pixels there. 5 pixels there, my goodness, it's off by 1 pixel. Oh wait, maybe not. I think these reference recs are drawn a little bit weird. They're not drawn on the pixel boundary, so... Okay, yeah, it's 4 pixel overlap. Okay, good. So now I have a way of supporting this the way it should be, and it supports an arbitrary number of last row items. Okay, good. So we've got the layout that we want. Now, of course, the challenge is we want to center this whole thing in this rectangle here. So I think the easiest thing to do might be to all right, so we want to do something like var max width is equal to mathf dot min of items dot count and max per row. Time spacing, but then we need to add private const int unlock item width. We need to add the unlock item width to that. Okay, so now we need to do the width offset. So var, let's just do, yeah, width offset is equal to new vector 2. This would be unlock tree items root dot size. Really? Oh, I just typed it as a node. Let's make it a control. Unlock tree items root dot size dot x minus max width divided by 2. Okay, so we've got the max width offset. So we're just going to take this and put this in here as well. Oh, we'll just call it width offset, I guess. Okay, so hopefully this centers everything. Okay, that doesn't look centered. That is definitely not centered. $56, $112, and then plus 32 would be 44. I take the width here. Is it 336? I guess I can look here. So 336 minus 144. 192 divided by 2. So yeah, it should be 96 pixels here. I don't know why that's not the case. Oh, does this need to be -1? Because it's 0 based to start. I think that's right, if I'm not mistaken. Right, because it gets placed on the 0. Right. Right. Okay, there we go. We should see 96 here now. 96. I'm pretty sure that's centered now. 96. Okay. All right. I need to put this character skeleton back to 3 and place that. Okay. So we've got a nice layout now. So now we can go into the functionality. I want this intergroup spacing to be different. But also what I'm going to want to do is probably put some kind of like progress bar here, but we'll think about that later. So what I probably want to do is let's focus on the logic of like allowing these things to be unlocked now. I'm not going to worry too much about this spacing here. I think that this needs to be a little bit bigger too. So there's going to be a lot of logic that needs to change here because it's all based on the graph, and I'm purging the graph from the system now. So it'll just be a relatively simple check now, I think. But yeah, we're gonna have to dive into the logic now and see how this goes. Anyway, I'm gonna create a new branch for this. Create a new branch, unlock rework. Layout unlocks in tiers. Publish branch. Okay. Chicken and rice, but better. Why are you using C#? It's more reliable to make a full game than a GD script, or do you feel more comfortable with it? It's just, yeah, more comfortable with it. It has the tools that I want to use. Abstract classes, interfaces, link, all that kind of stuff. I just think it's easier personally to build more complex games with C#. But yeah, it's all personal preference. You use whatever language you want. GD script is perfectly capable, so there's no problems with that. Okay, I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we will continue on with this unlock stuff. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I know the formula for centering. The problem is I had an off by 1 error. And I forgot my little wrist brace thing. Of course! Of course! Of course I did. Yeah. So the centering is, yeah, that's simple enough. It's just like if you have an off by 1 error. The problem is I was doing a centering based on the total count of things, right? But what that does is that assumes that you have an initial space as well, but that's not the case, right? I'm aligning everything to the 0, and then there's only 2 spacing gaps, right? So there's 3 items, but there's only 2 spacing gaps. But I was calculating it as if there were 3 spacing gaps, which is not correct, right? But it's good now. Hello, Beaker Spank. Beaker's Pank. Love watching competent devs regardless of their preferred language. I don't know if I'm that competent. I just struggled with basic algebra for a while, but that's okay. Thank you for the compliment. Hello, Rookie Tookie, welcome. All right, so let's figure out the logic of these unlocks now. So unlock tree item. Add clickable validator is valid. Let's start with the is valid. All of these graph things, these are going away. So we need to get rid of this unlock graph entirely. So let's just, what my favorite thing to do when I'm trying to refactor something is I find some kind of root property that the system relies upon, and I just delete it. And then I let the compiler tell me all the places that I need to consider for updating, right? So here, we know that we don't want this on place lines anymore. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this. So I deleted the unlock graph property, which the rest of the system relies upon. So now my code is literally not compilable until I address all of the places that rely upon that unlock graph. So here we delete that line, then we get rid of this unlock graph here. And now I've got all this red that I need to address, right? This is one of the reasons why I like using C#, by the way. It's like, because it's statically typed, you just remove like one part of a system that you know you're getting rid of, and then all like the downstream or the cascading effects of that propagate through the system and literally prevent you from building the game until you address all the changes that you need to address, right? So here, like has some unlocked neighbor, this is gone. Like I'm deleting that too. Is unlock in connections, that's gone too, right? Has some unlock connections, that's gone too. So now we go to the refresh state. So we got the play unlock. This is going to have to go away. I don't know what I'm going to do about that yet though. On alternate clicked. So we're going to need to replace this with like, we probably need some kind of public bool is unlockable. So I actually need some way of determining if all of the items of the previous tier have been unlocked. So I think what I'm going to need to do is unlockable. Yeah, I think I need a way of, maybe we'll put this in the unlocks manager. Am I loading all the unlock resources? Wait, I think I have an unlock registry. I do have an unlock registry. So I've got an unlock registry. So that means that I can probably break these up into tiers at this level. So private static, read only. We'll just do a dictionary for simplicity. It doesn't have to be a dictionary, but it can be. Unlocks grouped by tier. unlocks group by tier dot try get value, resource dot tier, out var unlock list, nullable equals or whatever that's called, the double Elvis, the Elvis impersonator operator. And then we do unlock list dot add resource, and then unlocks grouped by tier, resource dot tier is equal to unlock list. Okay, so now I've got the unlocks grouped by tier. So now we can, in the unlocks manager, what we could do is we could say static bool is unlock tier fully unlocked. Int tier. We're going to return unlock registry. Well, we might as well do a try get value just to be safe. So let's do unlock registry, public static list, unlock definition resource, get resources by unlocked tier, int tier, unlocks group by tier, try get value, tier, out var list, return list. Can I do this? Does that work? Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, so is tier fully unlocked? We would do unlocks. We want to do return unlock registry dot get resource by unlock tier dot. Actually, I'm going to need to do two checks here because I believe doing dot all returns true for an empty list. Yeah, returns if the sequence is empty. So var unlock list, unlock list dot count is equal to 0. We're going to return false. Otherwise, we're going to return unlock list dot all x is unlock. Wait a minute. How do I check if this is unlocked? Am I doing this in the wrong spot? Oh, is tree item unlocked? x.id. Okay. So is unlockable. This needs to return unlocks manager dot is. So we actually want to do return unlock definition resource dot tier is equal to 0, or unlocks manager dot is tier is unlocked tier fully unlocked, unlock definition resource dot tier -1. Okay, so this goes away. Has some incoming connections. Goodbye, goodbye. Has unlock points. So is valid. Has unlock connections. Where is this coming from? Get rid of that. So this might be a little bit hefty to do because is unlockable. Because this is going to iterate for it's basically going to do an n squared iteration, right? Because it's for every unlock, it's going to check. No, I guess it's not n squared. It's only going to check the previous one. Well, it's n squared within that tier, I guess. That's not terrible though, because if it's 5 in a tier and each one of those, I mean, I could make it more reasonable, but it's only going to do like 25 checks max. So that's probably okay. Oh, but it is going to do that for every single one though. Yeah, I might want to. I mean, it's not going to be that big of a deal because we're going to talk about like a couple hundred checks happening in a frame, which is not going to be a problem. But I probably want to store some kind of data about like if the tier is fully unlocked rather than checking in each individual unlocked tree item. But that's okay. Is detail visible? If not, is unlockable. Okay. This play unlock, this is basically... Yeah, I mean, that goes away. I'm going to have to figure out what to do about this. Okay. Anyway, let's catch up with the chat here. Why not write some layout utilities which can automate away this tedious work? Because I'm only doing it in one spot. The layout utilities would take more time than just writing it out in the one script. I love C#, but the way it integrated in Godot right now makes me stuck with GDScript. There's no easy way to make an additional C# project, and some things are just not supported for C#. Oh, interesting. Like what? You like to live dangerously? Static over dynamic then? I don't know what that means. Drill down and cache recursively. Yeah, see, like, I don't think these things are really that necessary. Could build it so it requires a number of items to be unlocked before the next tier is available, then set the number to be all the ones in the previous tier. So you can have tiers that don't require everything up front. Just unlock one character to move to the next instead of all of them. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. I mean, I'm going to keep it simple to start. So the way I'm thinking about pacing it is require each thing in the previous tier to be unlocked before we move forward, but give each tier at least one character to unlock. So that means that, you know, the characters are going to be spaced apart very, pacing wise, they're going to be good. Now, I think it will be a little bit weird, like the first unlock point you get, you'll be able to unlock the priestess. So it may be like I need to shift it by one where the first tier doesn't have an unlockable character, but the second tier does, right? Hello, Toby Macaroni, nude alert. Welcome. What is the name of your VS Code theme? Thank you for the 40 currency. I appreciate that. Welcome, Lolliet. This is Dracula. It's the Dracula theme. Also, I have the modern UI enabled. It's a new VS Code, it's the new VS Code layout, I guess. Could also make it so that previous tiers unlock sooner than getting all and make the final tier or two require all the previous unlocks. Lots of flexibility. Yeah, I definitely want to see how it works, pacing wise. Again, though, the problem is I'm worried that players are not going to unlock everything, that they're going to leave some things purposefully like not that they're going to leave some things purposefully locked, which means that they're not going to be experiencing all the content. Because again, like I think it's possible that a player is going to be like, well, I don't want to unlock this card pack because it's just going to dilute the item pool and it's going to make it harder for me to get a build that I want, right? But for me, what I want from the game is I want players to have all of this content because I think it improves like the run to run variability. I think it improves it adds more decisions that you can make and more strategies you can use. And so the reason why I'm like gravitating toward requiring all the unlocks of the previous tier is because like I'm still giving a player choice of like their own pacing, like at which points they get introduced to which new things. But at the end of the day, I'm still requiring them to unlock everything. Maybe that won't feel good. I don't know. It can always be changed. But yeah, the goal is like I want players to unlock everything. So yeah. And I can, I can do tiers that have different amounts of items, right? So like one tier could have like 5 unlocks. And then the next tier could, like you said, just be a character. You just unlock the character and then you go to the next tier and that has like 3 items, right? So I don't have to have 5 items in each tier. That can be a variable number for sure. And I can create like choke points where like, I definitely want you to unlock these 2 items first before you can move on, right? So it's like, I mean, and that's kind of what happens when you do a tree too, right? Like the whole point of like a tree is like, you have some pathing options, but then there are choke points where you're forced to unlock certain things. I'm just making that presentation a little bit easier on myself and also just making it more explicit that I want you to unlock these things, right? That's okay. Everyone in chat is having a good day though. Build a dependency graph tree and propagate Boolean flags down. I was using a graph before. We're moving away from that. And I don't think just doing a simple check to see if everything's in a tier needs to be a graph. Hello, Necromantic. There are days when I'm the only person here talking for most of the stream. Yeah, that's true. What's going on today? New unlock tree. Unlock tier system, yes. Can I do a flip? No, I cannot. Not without severely damaging myself. Refreshing breath of air, literally creative game dev problem solving. I mean, I as much as I would love to say that I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, I just don't think that's true. But it's okay. 40 INR is about 42 cents. Hey, well, I'm 42 cents richer. So it's very generous. Any amount of money that you guys choose to support this stream, no matter how small, is like, it's very much appreciated because like that's money that you're choosing to give up for some dude on the internet. So it's very much appreciated. Don't unlock worthless items. Yeah, that's what I figured. So again, there's like a tension here, right? Like, I don't want players to not unlock something because they don't want to dilute their pool, but the experience that I want the player to have is I want you to have a diluted pool because, for exactly the reason that, like, it adds more variety to the game. It adds more variety to the runs. And so I'm assuming that players are going to want to unlock characters. So if I say like, well, you can't unlock the last character, like the Lich could be the very last item in the tree. So if you want to get all the characters, you literally have to unlock everything else, right? But because of the way the unlock challenge system works, that's also going to force the player to like complete every challenge, which is necessarily going to require that you pursue different builds, right? So I think it's just gonna basically forcibly aligning the player to my vision of what I want them to experience, while still giving them like an element of choice within each tier, like choosing what they want to unlock next, right? Quick VS code tip I like on the activity bar on most left, right click and see its position on top. Set its position on top. This bar? Oh, that is interesting. I think it's okay. Like the thing is, like, this is the scale I usually work at, but for streams I blow it up quite a bit. So it feels a little cramped on the stream, but like with this I have plenty of space, right? Like look at all this empty space over here. I actually like want to use more of the horizontal space. Don't force people to be completionists. Well, we can tweak it. Like I could make it not require everything, but more so aiming for something like tier 2 unlocks after 3 of 5. Yeah, I may do something like that. We'll see. I got to get the basic implementation down, but then yeah, like we could say like tier 4, like you said, could require all of the previous unlocks. There's a groundhog running around. Hello, groundhog. I see you. You're not being sneaky. Is there a ban system for items? There is not. No. Where it wouldn't hurt so much to unlock items that hurt your active build because you could ban in future runs. Yeah, that's just not the kind of game that this is, right? Like, I want you to have to pursue slightly different strategies every run. So I actually want the players to have a very highly diluted pool. I don't want it to be necessarily reliable that you can get the exact build that you want reliably on a lot of games. Or in a lot of runs. So yeah, that's not the kind of game that this is, and that's what the core tension is with the unlock system, is that I want to give the players some sense of progression, that more variety is being added to their game. And I actually do want players to have more wild cards thrown at them in a run. Figuring out a tier is unlocked could be as simple as seeing the total unlocks without doing math. Oh, right, yeah. That could work, but we'll see. Is there just tremendous amounts of synergy within the pool? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, because of the alchemy system, you can basically make your own builds. Like, it's, you know, typical games is like you get your item and that's it, right? And so in that case, yeah, maybe banning items would be good, because it's like, well, if I've got an extremely diluted pool, it may be harder to build certain synergies because, like, it's just hard to get the items that I need. But that's not the case in this game, right? The case in this game is you could take abilities that you want to use off of items and put them onto other items with the alchemy system. So you're, like, never truly stuck. You have all kinds of options available to you. And it's more so a game about, like, taking everything that the game is throwing at you and figuring out how to, like, make all the pieces work. How to, like, do I want to take this ability off this item and put it on here, and then, like, ooh, I've got this reagent that will, like, do X thing, so maybe if I get all these abilities onto this item first and then I put the reagent in there with that, right? It's like, it's all about, like, figuring out how to make your own build work rather than just being stuck with a static item and it's like, well, this doesn't work with anything, so, you know. Now, obviously, there will be cases like that. You're definitely going to get items which are just, like, not going to be worthwhile for your build. But the point is, in Alka Mortis, you have a ton more flexibility than you do in, like, a typical, like, card game deck builder, right? Like, in Slay the Spire, you can't say, oh, I'm going to mix these 3 cards together and then I'm going to get one card out that has all of the abilities of all 3 of them, right? So yeah, that's the idea anyway. My game is currently infested with spiders. That's unfortunate, or fortunate. I think the game would be mad lame if you could just get whatever build you want. The magic of crazy builds is that you really get to have the once and you get to make another one. Right, that's what I'm thinking. Like I'm trying to make the player have to think every run and also have the player be rewarded for thinking carefully. Which I think is like, you know, that's true of any roguelike, right? I think that's just the mechanics of the game kind of determine how you create that experience for the player. Eventually, I could see loot pool rules bans being added in the future when there are so many items it gets difficult to achieve particular builds, given how conditional artifacts can be. But for now, it's pretty good as is. Yeah, I think so. Stacking jigsaw is not fitting. Thinking you. All right, let's see. Where else do I have problems? Did it build? Wait. I did build. All right, let's see how badly I broke it. Actually, now that I think about it, I think there's something I'm missing, but let's see. Cannot unlock. So obviously these messages need to be a little bit clearer. That unlocks this tier now. Excellent. So that's basically working, actually. So the rest of this is just basically cannot match member, unlock tree line template. Oh. So now I just need some visual help or need some visuals to go along with this. To guide the player along this like unlock trajectory. So I'm wondering if I could still use the vines somehow. The visuals is going to be the hardest part, I think. So I'm wondering if I should reuse the lines somehow, the vine things that I worked so hard on. Oh, these are still unlocked. So all the logic is in place, it seems. Unlocks, unlock tree. So yeah, I can't unlock these ones until I get all these ones. Then I've got those. So I was thinking maybe vines could go along the side here. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to think about this a little bit more. What do you do after you become millionaire? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that even happens. Very unlikely to happen. I just want to make enough money where I can keep doing this and make my next game. That's it. I just need like 2 years of funding from Alchemortis. That would be fine. Anyway, I like your streams showing it's definitely possible to use C# and Godot one day. I'll try again. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like an expansion that adds a brand new mechanic and then only like 50 out of 300 plus items use that new mechanic. Oh, right. Yeah, I think so. Do we have an ETA? The demo is not out. The demo is coming out within the near future. Basically, as soon as I finish this unlock tree rework, and so there's 3 major things that need to happen before the demo build is ready. I need to finish this unlock tree rework. I need to finish the key rebinding system, the remapping system, which is almost done. And then I need to get translations in the game. Once those things are done, I think the demo will basically be ready. I do need to do some more testing though, because I did change the difficulty quite a bit. So yeah, I think that's basically it. And then the rest, like I gotta just add more content to the game after that. So coming out before the end of the year. Could Arton alter around the tier and use vines to connect each one when a new tier is unlocked, the vines sprout? Yeah, I'm thinking about like if I could tie the vines to the tiers somehow. Alter would be cool. An altar would be cool. Let's do this first though. Build, I need to get this off the top edge there. Place tiers. Okay, that works. And then I do want to reduce the gap between these tiers too, so maybe I should think about that. Oops, I did this wrong. See, these are too close to each other, but then they end up too far away from each other. Row count plus equals 2. I think I'm just going to need to do like an additional var tier vertical offset is equal to new vector 2. Tier vertical offset plus equals vector 2 dot down times spacing divided by 2. Then this becomes plus tier vertical offset. Just a little bit of extra space between each of these things. Okay, that looks fine. Unlocks. Yeah, that looks more reasonable for tier spacing. So yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe I'll have vines going along the side or something. But what I want to do actually is, let's get rid of this, put that back. This tier spacing would be spacing divided by 2. I mean, I'll be consistent. Okay. Every unlocks lights a candle could be neat. Yeah. What's the idea for the next game? Well, I've said it before, but imagine a Vampire Survivors like where you don't control the character. That is all I will say. What the heck? Oh, this is the one I need to change. Move this like that. Would love to play it. We'll stick around as encouragement to get you out. Awesome. I'm wondering, with a ban system, instead of having the player pick, you could have as a challenge run where the game picks at random which cards can't be gotten during that run. Yeah, I mean, so I still want to implement some kind of daily run system. I don't know if that's going to be available in the game from the start or if that will have to be like a post-release thing, but my idea for the daily run system is everyone plays the same seed on a given day, and then there would be a series of like daily run modifiers that just rotate. So, for example, like you said, one daily run modifier may be minion items are removed. So you can't have minions at all, right? One daily modifier might be, I don't know, just think of any kind of like game altering stuff, right? One daily run modifying thing could be like, hey, the map is smaller, right? Like it's the same difficulty, but you just have fewer upgrade opportunities. One daily run could be enemy health is doubled or something, right? One run could be the alchemy board size is smaller. You know, like it could just be like these daily challenge runs. But I don't think I have time to, like, that's not a priority right now. It's just something I would love to do. I think that's something that I can add post-release though. Like, I think there will be enough content at launch to keep people entertained for quite a while. And then like the daily run thing will just be like cherry on top kind of post-release extra content. Okay, so this is looking pretty good now. Do you have a publisher and why you need them? Yes, I have a publisher and I need them mostly to handle like the marketing and also like exploring, you know, if we want to release on other platforms, etc. Game is looking really polished already. Thank you. Thank you, Brian George. Appreciate that. Making Alter a 9-pat direct you could allow to be dynamically sized as well for future editions. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some brainstorming on how I want to present this, fill this screen up so it's not so dark. Think you can make it into Next Fest with a demo? That's the goal, yeah. Vampire Survivor Auto Battler. I've only 5 hours in and I wonder if there are items that can activate upon status change or all of them are CD based. No, there are definitely items that like are reactive to what happens in the game. There's not a whole lot of them right now, but there are items like that. Implement watch add to revive. A mod to remove all fire abilities from items. I feel sick. Can you have like one board slot locked and that be a challenge? Funnily enough, I was thinking about making that a difficulty modifier. I was thinking about like difficulty modifier lock the last row in your stash. So you've got one row less for storage. Ready extra content, yeah. I mean, there's no shortage of content that I can make for this game. It's more of a matter of like how much content is good enough for a first release of the game, right? Because this is the kind of game where like you could just add so much content to it, but I think like of everything that's here, like, I think it's good enough for release, minus like balance and quality of life things. I am going to add more content, like a lot more content before release, but yeah. Adds his mechanics too, working for Vampire Survivors right now. All right, I'm gonna need to think about this, but let's clean this up. Unlock tree line template. Get rid of that. Free. Okay. Build. Wouldn't personally try it out. I mean, it's just removing the space. Yeah, lore. I guess that is another big one that I need to do for sure. That is definitely another big one I need to do. All right, well, I'm going to have to spend some time thinking about the visuals for this, but there's some definitely good suggestions in the chat for that. Unlock tiers, functional. Okay. Needs a hefty achievement. If that was tied to it, fair game would go. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think I got to do Steam achievements too. Ugh, there's so much to do. So much to do, but we'll get it done. I just gotta, once this is done and the input rebinding is done, should be all right. No conventional commit. What is a conventional commit? Anyway, thank you, Beaker. That's going to be it for the stream for now, though. I may stream later this afternoon, so keep an eye on the Discord when that happens, but I'm hungry, so I'm going to go get some lunch now. Maybe it's double quarter pounder with cheese day, who knows? But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. It's appreciated as always. Yeah, so you can wishlist Alcabortis on Steam if you wishlist it. Of course, you'll be notified when the game releases, but you'll also be notified when the demo releases if you're on the wish list. So do that if you're interested. I would appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Again, keep an eye on the Discord, which you can join from the description below if you want to know if I go live again today. Otherwise, I'll be back at it tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay, take care, everyone, and bye-bye for now.